Glory to Jesus Christ, and welcome to St. Cyril and Methodius Ukrainian Orthodox Church in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Father Gregory, the pastor. It's good to be with you this morning, Sunday, December 10th. It's a little chilly here in Mad City, but, well, it's the upper Midwest and it's December, so it's pretty much to be expected. I want to talk to you today about something that at first might sound a little polemical, but that's really not my intent. And if I come across that way, please forgive me. But often when we talk to people, when I talk to people from a Reformed background or Catholic background, they often think that the tradition of the Orthodox Church is one which emphasizes monasticism so much that it denigrates, or that we denigrate or we ignore the vocation of the laity. And the first thing that I have to say, of course, is that monastic life is not a clerical vocation; it's a lay vocation. The vast majority of monks in the Orthodox Church, and of course all of our nuns, are not ordained. Monasticism is a lay vocation. But we don't simply focus on the holiness of men and women who take monastic vows. In fact, in the tradition of the church, we see that ordinary life is blessed and that it is part of how God brings about not only the salvation of individuals, but also of the world. Probably the best example of that is the icon for the conception of Saint Anna, the icon of Saint Joachim and Anna. Let me make that just a little bit bigger. One of the things that you'll notice about the icon is that there is this tenderness, this affection between the saints in the center of the icon. Joachim and Anna embrace, and it really is quite lovely. If you know the story, you realize that Joachim and Anna, like Zachariah and Elizabeth, were an older couple, and they were, as we say today, infertile. They could not have children. What's extraordinary about the icon is that while Joachim would have been within his rights, both under the law and then culturally, to divorce Anna and marry someone else in the hope of having children, he doesn't do that. Rather, he remains faithful to her for the whole of their life. And he makes the decision that he would rather live with Anna without children than to have children without Anna. And so when they conceive the Mother of God, the Virgin Mary, they had already lived a life of great personal suffering, but a life of mutual respect and affection. No doubt they had their struggles, their hardships, but in fact, throughout all of this, they remained faithful to each other, so that they were in a position to say yes and to receive with gratitude their child Mary, who would herself become the Mother of God. What this reminds us of, and what the hymnography makes very clear, is that it was in and through this relationship that God accomplished one of the great preparations for the incarnation. The relationship between Joachim and Anna, their love, their affection, their respect, their fidelity, are all part of God's overall plan to bring salvation to the world, to become incarnate in Jesus Christ. They didn't have to go to a monastery, and they didn't have to vow celibacy. They were an ordinary couple who were faithful to each other for the whole of their lives. And that isn't something that God simply used, but that was part of God's working out of salvation for the human family. Their love, their affection, it's not an afterthought. It's part and parcel of what God has done. Again, look at the icon. Just look at it from a human point of view. Who among us would not want to see their parents embrace and to have the love and the affection that we see between Joachim and Anna in the icon? We hope for that as children. We hope for that as adults in our own marriages. The bottom line, though, is this. In the tradition of the Orthodox Church, everyday life is blessed because everyday life, through baptism and the other sacraments, participates in the divine nature. It participates in the very life of God. We're not trying to get out of everyday life. We're not trying to become something other than ordinary. We understand that God has blessed the ordinary, blessed the everyday, and raised it up to participate in his life. Understand that, and understand that everything that we do in the church is meant to help us encounter God within the midst of our everyday life. And so much of the stress and the anxiety that we encounter becomes unnecessary. We don't have to become something else. We simply need to be human because our humanity is made for heaven. Our humanity is made to share in the life of God. If I don't realize that, then I'm always going to carry a burden of being of shame, of somehow feeling deficient in the presence of God for the simple fact that I'm human. Eventually, that shame at my own humanity turns poisonous, and it causes me to rebel, to resent the God who made me human. So what about you? Do you see your life as it is, as a gift from God, your humanity as a gift from God, as something which is good and blessed by God and a means of sharing in his life? Or do you think that somehow you have to become something other than human in order to experience salvation? Well, no matter what you think, why not try to get to liturgy this morning? If you're an Orthodox Christian and you're here in Madison, well, join us at liturgy at 9:30 at 1020 Regent Street. If you're here in Madison and you're not Orthodox and you want to learn a little bit more about what I said today, come and join us, and maybe take me aside afterwards, ask me some questions at coffee hour. If you're not in the Madison area, why not go to liturgy this morning? A lot of Orthodox Christians are not at liturgy on any given morning. Really, about 70% of us skip liturgy on any given Sunday. Why don't you go against that and attend liturgy this morning? And again, if you're not Orthodox, go and find an Orthodox church and learn a little bit more about us. Well, if you'll excuse me, it's now 8:15 here in Mad City, and I've got to get ready for liturgy. Again, I'm Father Gregory. This is St. Cyril and Methodius Ukrainian Orthodox Church at 1020 Regent Street in Madison, Wisconsin. You are more than welcome to come and not just bring who you are, but discover who you are and how that is good in the eyes of God. Excuse me, a little burp there. So God bless everyone. Have a good rest of your day, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.